Okay.
Welcome back to iHeartRadio. So bad it's good. Today we are with somebody. If you have been listening to the show, you know she is on my favorite show right now. This show keeps getting better and weirder and crazier each week. And I got so bummed out because on her Instagram the other day, which you guys got to go follow, go check my notes. She said her birthday was 2 days ago, and she said there's only 4 episodes left, which means by the time this comes out, there's only 3 episodes left, and then I have to figure out how to get a life again. She is one of the only people in this cast of Winter House that has an amazing thing going, regardless of this show. You might know her from her flower company, Floral Design by Rachel Clark. You might also recognize her from HBO Max's Full Bloom, but most recently, also top 35 florist under 35. Are you kidding me? But most recently, you know her from our favorite show on Bravo TV right now, Winter House. Welcome, Rachel Clark.
Yay! Hi.
You were like, "Are you finished yet? Are you finished?"
I was like,
No,
what an
Rachel. How
introduction.
are you?
I am
You're
so
you
good.
you go from Kyle and Amanda's wedding on Summer House last season. That's where we were. Happened. You're just that good of a florist.
I am just that good. I mean, if you asked me if this was gonna happen to me, I I would be like, hell no. Like this is like in a crazy like momentum of like things happening right now. It's like I'm overwhelmed in the best of ways.
I mean, are you watching the show back?
I am out of curiosity because it's like everyone's like, oh, I can't wait to see what happens. And I was like, me too. I can't wait to see what happens.
I mean, I think you actually are coming off the best where I'm just like, and by the way, we can tell you're truly being your genuine self, but were there any trepidations about going into this house? And do you prepare by watching the first season of Winter House to know what you were getting yourself into?
You know, I did not watch it prior to going into it because
Good,
I feel
good.
like that just sets some sort of like weird expectations or standards that like I didn't want to put on myself. Like I went into this just being like, I'm going to be authentic. I'm going to be me. And if people don't like it, whether they be in the house or watching it, I'm like, that's, you know, like that's their problem. Like I'm in my 30s. Like I know who I am and I'm going to stay true to myself. So, and that's
You
what I did.
truly come off like that, but like you truly do come off like that. And that's what's so incredible is that you don't like, you don't seem riddled with insecurities. You seem fun loving. You're open for anything. And I think, in comparison with the other new castmate, Jess, who's having kind of a tough couple of episodes that we've seen, you're coming out like, wow, like we want to see more of you. What is your proudest moment on the show thus far is there the funniest moment or proudest moment that you've had so far?
I mean, I think it's really funny to like watch back my like facial expressions and like I've been told by all my friends like they like think my like facial expressions are so funny and like I'm always like, "Oh my god, I wish I could see them." And now I do see them and I'm like also like cringing because like, you know, whenever you hear your own voice or see yourself and you're like, "Oh my god, like why do I sound like that? Why do I look like that?" But I mean, that's like maybe the funny aspects of
Well, I mean,
watching
now
that.
we're making memes about you. I'm looking at a meme right now from your right now. I'm definitely single as bleep. I'm very happy about that. I'm okay with being alone. I have a cat and she's enough for me. You are a proud owner of a meme format now, which I think is amazing, but that's got to be crazy for you.
It's hilarious. Like my friends send me them and I'm like, "Oh my god, here we go. Could have seen that one coming." Like it's so great, honestly. Like I'm not embarrassed by anything and I'm very easily embarrassed. But like yeah, I mean it's so funny to me and I guess like proudest moment, I mean, I think in general just being on the show and being able to be vulnerable and share my story as like from my point of from my point of view, of course, my point of view, but like in my own way has been very therapeutic to me, without getting too deep about things. But it's really helped me like acknowledge certain things or like revisit things that maybe I should talk about more often.
Would you recommend that we all go on a reality show?
I mean, I say like maybe I'll need therapy after Bravo, but Bravo has been my therapy. So
um, also, I think one of your greatest accomplishments thus far is the floral party that you just had last week. You made everybody look like characters from Midsummer almost, and it was truly beautiful. Can you explain to the audience that I'm trying to convince to watch Winter House what your background is? You say the flower life chose you. You didn't choose the flower life. What is your background? How did you fall in love with flowers?
well, flowers did find me very unexpectedly and exactly when I needed it the most. My background has been in art and design and fashion, and I left that industry. I left because it didn't bring me joy. I didn't feel like it was fulfilling for me. And so I did a lot of soul searching. And during that time, like I lost my dad, I lost my brother. And like I said, like it found me exactly when I needed it the most. I needed the light, I needed beauty, I needed purpose in my life to focus on like the future and like all the beautiful things in life and not just get sucked into like really the horrible things that are happening in my life. And I found them and it was like everything that I'd ever done in the past all in one career. And I say it's like it was like meeting like the love of my life. Like everything just clicked, and I knew this is what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And it was like such a overwhelming, strong feeling of just knowing like this is it. And ever since that moment, like I've never wanted anything more. Like I feel like I have everything I could ever want in my life, like tangibly, and I'm so thankful and so happy.
Wow, that was like I almost started. I'm like looking around. I almost started crying. Like you made me tear out. Like what the heck is going on? It's an emotional day for me. But you kind of seem like an extension of those flowers because you seem so full of joy on the show, and you seem kind of just like somebody that listens, takes each moment in. And of course, those are just our first impressions. Who knows? You might be if you come back a villain next season. Who knows? But
No.
okay, so also, I wanted to, and this might be a little bit of a deeper question too. What does it mean to kind of be able to represent Asian Americans out there and be able to see themselves on screen?
That is like I think is a question that I really want to dive into more maybe, but from like my hot take on it is something that I never realized that would again make me feel like
Yeah.
I have a sense of purpose. Being Asian is something that I've never really said loudly. I acknowledge I'm Asian, trust me, I know. But it's something like it's just something that maybe I suppressed a little bit because I
Yeah.
got made fun of so much when I was growing up, and to the point where I would just like not acknowledge it as much as I should. And for the first time in my life, especially like getting all these beautiful messages from kids that have been adopted or also Asian as well, like and them being like, oh my god, I feel seen, I feel validated, like thank you for sharing my story, and like they would share theirs, and I read them all because I'm just like, oh my god, like I know this show is about being entertaining and having fun and the drama, but it's like so much more than that because like we're all like I'm a normal person. Like I've lived the life I'm living, and like I think it's so important to be also like relatable and show people like there's multiple levels of who you are and who you're watching. Like we're not just here to entertain. Like I want to make the world a more beautiful place in any way I can, whether that be creating or like making people feel like, oh my god, like there's someone there, like someone on TV that like I relate to and can laugh with and can cry with. Like that's like we're here to like like entertain people, but also
What
like
will you be my life coach? Will you, is there any possible way I could get you on retainer or something like that when I'm down? Because I feel like you seem like I'm like, wow, I need a very special episode of Winter House where you just talk for the full hour. And
oh
like,
my
this is,
god.
those things when you need to hear this at the right moment, you guys, I think you guys need to hear this today. So I do think that you do. It is kind of this beautiful representation of your joy and your culture and all of that stuff coming through a show like Winter House, which can be incredibly silly in the best way. When you
Yeah.
first go into the house, what were your snap impressions of everybody? Of course, you knew Kyle and Amanda, and you probably met Austin, I'm assuming, from that wedding. Like, what was your knowledge of everybody going into the house?
I mean, like, yes, obviously I met Kyle and Amanda, and I actually did like an event with Smirnoff, and Sierra and Paige were there. So, like, I knew who they were. Like, it was really funny and like ironic, like, that they were the hosts of the party that I was doing. And I mean, like, I thought they were nice people, didn't get a chance to meet them. I thought Luke was super hot from afar and like didn't get a
Yeah.
chance.
So wait. Did you have that going in? You're like, Luke might be one to watch if I go into the winter house. That might be one for
I
me.
I mean, I didn't know Luke was going to be there. So when I walked in, I was like,
Cha-ching. Yeah.
yeah, I was like, oh my God. But yeah, so I hadn't really met anybody aside from like maybe just from afar or being like, loosely acquainted with. But I mean, like Luke was great. Jason obviously is great. Meeting like Paige for like and actually talking to her was like she's amazing. I love
You
her.
didn't get Mean Girl vibes because that was the conversation we had in last week's episode where we started in and then Paige was like, I'll show you Mean Girl, and then ran out. And I was like, uh-oh. But like I kind of understood, like you had a conversation with Jess where you said, I just go in their room. And Paige also said, how many times you checked in on me? And that kind of made a lot of sense. But you seem like that kind of person that you'll go in and talk to somebody before they talk to you.
Yeah, I mean, like I can come off shy and reserved maybe, and I've been told that like my entire life. But I
Is
think
that true?
I mean, like
Or
people
wait,
are like, really, you're shy? I'm
I
like,
know. I was like, I've been watching you on TV and your Instagram, and it's literally like Saturday Night Fever on there. I mean, you
uh,
like look like your like party was like off the chain. Okay. Anyway, sorry.
oh no. Basically, I describe myself as an introverted socialite. So I come to life in like the correct like settings.
Yeah.
And but like going back to that, like I'm in my 30s, like I'm very comfortable with who I am and what I have to offer and like just very sure of myself. So like going into the house, I wasn't like there wasn't even a thought like that I might not fit in or I might not get along with people. Like I can talk to a wall. Like I can relate to anybody. And that
You're
wasn't
talking to one right now, Rachel. You're
yeah, and
talking to
literally
a
I'm
wall.
talking to a screen and a ring light. But like yeah, like going into like I did not get any mean girl vibes from them. Like of course like did I feel a little like not in the know of things? Like of course I did. Like these are people that have like existing connections and friendships and relationships and like things that like I have no idea what's going on. Like I was just playing catch up the entire time. Like why are we mad? What's going on? What did they say? Like when did this happen? Like
I
and
love that you need cliff notes because there's been so much drama that
yeah.
precedes you that you have not been there for. I mean, who was the one that caught you up on all of Austin's like, because Austin, by the way, this you'll hear this after this week's episode where Lindsay and Carl come to visit, and Austin, you've already seen the first 6 minutes. Potentially Austin tells the women that something wild happened at the wedding in regards to Lindsay and Carl, and then Lindsay and Carl are going to pull up. I don't know what happens. Does it go off? Does it? Rachel, tell me it goes off.
You'll have to watch and see, but it's Bravo for a reason, so that's all I'll say.
I'm just so curious, like who was the one feeding you information of the cliff notes that you needed to know? Was there like, did Sierra go, hey, you're going to need this. I used to hook up with Austin and like who would tell you these things?
I mean, like I put two and two together. Things were weird, and I just ask. I'm a nosy person. I like to know. I like to be like I'm an observant person for a reason. I'm reading the room. I'm assessing. I'm judging, but I'm assessing. I'm retaining the information. So like I'm just genuinely curious, like whether or not like I don't like insert myself like unnecessarily. I just like want to know because I don't ever want to speak out of my ass, my butt, whatever. I want to like if I'm gonna say something, I need to know the facts. So I was simply just asking if I ever have to use it against them. Like I know what's going on.
was there one fact though that you found out that you were like it just shocked you? It dropped you. I was like, I have no idea because I got to imagine like it. Not knowing Austin's history with these shows, I would imagine he comes in all sweet and apologetic. I would have to imagine that would be a surprise in a certain way that so many people had relationships with him. I mean, was there something that shocked you?
And like if we're talking about Austin, I mean, like sometimes he gets a bad rep, but then like when you meet him and talk to him, you're like, oh my God, he's charming, he's handsome. I understand.
It's the tall. He's tall.
I mean, whatever, sure, but like I understand why girls like he gets really attractive, beautiful women. Like I get it. And ring light. But like that's how like I like for that like I was surprised, but like I don't know, nothing surprises me anymore. I've been there.
You were there where Luke had to leave in the middle of the night when that was wild. How did your liver keep up with everybody in Winter House? Because I always feel like you guys are doing us such a great service by it potentially just drinking like you're still in college. And I think like, was that hard to keep up with? Because I don't know how the guys do it.
Honestly, like I mean, I drank a lot of Red Bull. Like Like, if you see any scenes of my bedroom, it's literally Red Bulls everywhere. Like it was
still better than Sierra's bedroom. Yeah.
It wasn't a sprint, it was a marathon. So it was definitely like, just keep in mind, you got to keep going.
So we've been talking about this on this show a lot about Jason, because I think Jason is kind of like what seems like a lot of the girls will say he's like the perfect dude, but like there's just this hair missing of not aggressiveness, but like, he cooks for everybody. He's nice to everybody. He's a great looking dude. But even you were saying like, we kissed a bit, we don't know. Like, what is the one thing that I feel like Jason each season, like I want him to step up and come into his power. What is your takeaway on Jason?
I don't think Jason wants to settle down.
But he doesn't seem like a wild man, but you're saying you don't think he wants to settle down. That potentially is it.
I don't think relationships are his priority right now. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I think he wants to have fun and, like do his thing. And not like, he is so respectful to everyone in the house, men and women alike. And I just think he's very like, oh, if it happens, it happens. And he's not looking for it. Therefore, he is not maybe putting in as much effort as someone might be if they're looking for a relationship. Like, if,
I just didn't know if he was shy, if he was like too shy or something like that. And that might potentially be it.
I mean, like too shy, like if for any reason, like too shy for me might not be for somebody else, So just different needs and wants.
Did Craig ever pay you for any kind of bedroom switch or anything like that? In the first episode, Craig does the wildest thing that I've ever seen on one of these shows. He pays $1,000 to Kyle and Amanda to get the main bedroom. Were you able to get any money out of Craig?
No, what the hell?
Craig, come on, man.
I don't need your money. I will say Craig is very, very generous. Like, there were times when he like bought me drinks and bought all of us food, and it was just very, very kind. And like whatever, he didn't need to do any of that. But I still I appreciate it, and I acknowledge that he like took care of everyone.
Hard question. Would you, and this might already have been decided, but would you do this again? Will we potentially see you on Summer House, which comes in February? I feel like you're an integral part of this crew right now, and I want to see more of you. And I think a lot of us do. Are you allowed to say anything about that?
Well, I will say I'm not a cast member on Summer House coming out.
No.
I'm sorry. I do or may not make some appearances, but that will be, you'll just have to tune in.
Okay.
I don't know if there'll be another season of Winter House. I feel like they should, because everyone seems to be falling in love with it more the second season. And like I always say, I'll try anything once, twice if I like it, and I liked it. So
okay, that's all. Going in though, like I said, you have this amazing career that is truly like kind of like mixes art and there's commerce involved, but also so much beauty. Was there any trepidation after going from a show that you did on HBO Max, which was very like your lane, all of that stuff, to something that involved potentially romance or getting wild? Was there any trepidation on your part in doing this? Did you have to think about it for a while?
I thought about it for all of 1 hour. I literally was like, when I got asked to potentially be on it, it wasn't like a for sure thing. And I remember being like, I have to think about it. And I literally thought about it for an hour. I was like, fuck yes. Like, let's do it. Like, why not? Like, I'm single. Not much is going on in my industry in February and March. And I was like, why not? Like, I have nothing left to lose. And like, again, like I knew that I would not act any differently than I would in real life or like in everyday life. So I knew I had nothing to worry about. And also like anyone that's watching Bravo, chances are like, I want them as a client, like the cool people watch Bravo. Like I want them as my client. And like, I really tie myself into my business. I'm the face of my business. I overshare on the internet ever since I've had access to it. So it's like, why would I limit myself to this? And also like, I want people to like me just as much as they like my work, you know? So I'm selling selling myself with my business. So,
We
you
kind
know,
of
like I
all
want
have to do that, yeah, in a way. And I think you're
yeah,
doing it so successfully. So, are you saying though that some Bravo fan, like say I decide to get married, I go to New York, I could hire you to actually do flowers for my occasion? Is that possible?
I've stepped away from the wedding industry a bit. I will only work with cool people.
Wait, you have to pass a cool test to work? Okay, so I'm out. I will not be.
No.
You
Like
got to pass a vibe check. Okay.
basically going forward with weddings particularly, like people always, you know, like clients or potential clients are like, I don't know, like I need to know you're a good fit. But like in my head, I'm like, I need to know you're a good fit. Like we have to be like, we have to meet in the middle. Like we both, it's an interaction. Like, and like we need to know like if we're both good gonna work well together. Like I don't need your money. I don't want your money if it, like if we're not gonna like vibe, you know? And
Yeah.
I think that's so important because I genuinely care about what I do and I love what I do. I don't want a bad experience, or and I don't want you to have a bad experience. So not cool in the sense of like if you tell me your love story or you give me your inspiration, I was like, I love it, then it's a fuck yes for me.
Is it your favorite type of like what is your favorite type of event to do flowers for besides really getting along with that client? Like are like parties better, New Year's Eve parties? Like what is your favorite? And follow-up question to that is just I have my favorite Bravo characters. Are flowers like the same way where you're attracted to certain flowers so much, but you know, for a client, they might like this other bit of flowers because they're a different person. So is each person a completely individual project?
Yeah, so everything I do is completely customized, and I really think like I don't want like a cookie cutter business. I want each event to feel like just as unique as the brand or the client that I'm working with. Like I think that's what sets me apart because like yes, it might take me a little bit more time to like to create the proposal, but like you know it's so special for you. And I think that's so important, especially in this day of age where like interaction and like being like experimental is very important to a brand and exposure. And so like I take a lot of pride in making sure everything is like to the finest detail is very catered towards each event that I do. And with that being said, like I specialize more now in like branded events and like private dinners or like celebrity events and whatnot because one, I really love installations and I love like really connecting with people and figuring out like, well, what do you need, what do you want, what type of experience do you want to be created or to be had. And I get so inspired by that. And you know, like it's not really even about the money anymore. Like I just love what I do and I love creating beauty and making people happy, even if it's in like a brief moment and you see beauty. Like I want you to like feel the beauty, you know? Like
That's
I want to
awesome. I mean, that's such as we start winding down, this has been really amazing. And I really want more of you on this show. So I hope they come back for season 3. But as we start winding down, what's up with Corey's pearl necklace? I hate to go from that question to that, but like and by the way, like for women out there, Corey is falling into that trap of playing these games with women that supposedly women don't like, but then Jessica seems like she likes it and likes him and said wild stuff in the past couple of weeks episodes, but I feel like it's cheating because he's playing a game. What is your opinion on men who play games?
my hot take is no thanks. But I think, well, this is broad. I'll speak for myself.
Yes.
I don't want to play games because I know what I want. I know what I'm worthy of. I know what I'm capable of having and giving and receiving. And I don't have time to play games. And honestly, like, what does that do? Like, are you in or are you not? Like, let's not play. Like, I don't have time to waste. I have better things to do. I have a cat. I'd rather spend time with her. Like, don't.
Okay, you just did your meme. You just did your meme. You did it right now. That's amazing. I saw it live, you guys. That was amazing. No, I mean, I really love that. But have you always been like that, or was there a time where you were like, oh, I was fully into game playing, I got cheated on a bunch, or like I feel like every person has that story at some point.
I mean, I've been cheated on. I've tried the whole polyamorous thing. I've done it all. And honestly, like, I think, again, just coming into my own skin and feeling so comfortable with myself and what I've achieved and my success, like, I've just like gained this whole different perspective. I'm like, well, like I'm a pretty formed person, and for the rest of my life, I'm just going to be refining myself. But like, I know who I am and what I stand for, and like, I know what I deserve and what I don't. And I just don't have time. I just don't care. Like,
You
again,
really
like,
do seem like you stick by these rules for yourself. And this is the kind of game I want people to play for themselves, is have rules that they stand by. This is a pop culture show. So I want to know, what's your favorite song and what you're watching on TV right now?
oh my God, what's my favorite song?
Or is there
All
a favorite
time.
musician? Or is it, you just had your birthday party this past weekend?
It wasn't
Was
a
there,
birthday.
I thought it was. What was it?
Honestly, everyone keeps saying that, but like when the caption says, I turned my birthday into a lifestyle. It's a fucking Drake song, and I just thought it was so cool. I turned my
I was
life, I turned my birthday into a lifestyle. Every day's a party.
Okay,
No
now
one
I
said
get. Okay,
it.
I get it. Wait, by the way, everybody out there is going to get it probably besides me, because they're going to know Drake lyrics, and I only know "Take Care" album. But I'm glad you turned it. I thought it really was your birthday. I'm so okay. So maybe favorite song's too hard, but what do you watch on TV? Do you watch Bravo? Do you watch scripted? What are you watching?
I watch everything horror. I watch I watch like psychological thrillers, like straight up horror slasher movies and like suspense movies, and that's all I watch, or period set films and battle movies. It's very strange, but like I always say, like my
Extreme
life is
horror
just
or
so,
period films?
yeah, my life is so pretty and light and happy that I need something to ground it. So then I watch horror.
Wait, what did you wait? One of my favorite movies is Midsummer, and I imagine you like that because of the flower dress at the very end. Did you dig that?
It was beautiful, but that movie is haunted. Like that movie
Right?
haunts.
So
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah.
Lastly, are you still talking with everybody on the cast of Winter House? And what, if anything, was your BravoCon experience, or what has been, we talked earlier about fan reaction, even just in your DMs. What
Mm-hmm.
has that been like? Because it is funny, the further Winter House goes on, the more you keep now getting brought into conversations of like, oh, I love that Rachel girl. Like it's so wild. And especially because of last week, poor Jess had a couple moments that weren't like amazing for her, but like,
Yeah.
it is funny to track like how popular you're getting week after week. And I think that's really cool. Do you feel that? And what was your BravoCon experience like?
I definitely feel it, and it's amazing. Like I said, like I'm always better in time. Like I'm maybe slow. True. I say that in relationships or any type, but like I think the more you get to know me, like you realize there's so many layers to it, and like I'm not like who you expect me to be or what you expected, and like I'm just so much more, and like definitely like just so much to me.
But I want to say, like, that might come off like snobbish, but guys, it's completely like, I believe that completely. For no, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't come off pretentious when you say it. Like, I feel like that actually is genuinely true for you, which is like, that means there's so much more to discover. So the BravoCon experience was cool to actually meet fans and stuff.
Oh my God, I couldn't catch a break. Like it was crazy after like at that point only one episode had aired. And obviously like I was on Summer House finale, but like so many people recognized me just like from maybe like my HBO show, but also like from Bravo, and like people were stopping and like, can I take your picture? Can you take a picture with me? I was like, oh my God, of course. And then like by the end I was like, oh my God, like what's going on? And like, but like some people also like stopped me to share their stories about being adopted or being Asian. And like I like went home and cried because I was like, oh my God, like I just didn't realize like the impact that me being on a show would do for people. And like I genuinely hope I continually make people proud of their heritage or like their situation. And that just gives me another sense of purpose in my life. Like I want to explore that more and like talk about it more. And it helps me just as much. It might help other people.
Yeah, I think this is like potentially one of the perfect opportunities where you can communicate all of this experience, because I didn't even get to bring up the adoption, which is something a lot of my listeners had asked me to talk about with you as well. But, I didn't want to jam everything into 30 minutes, but you really have had amazing life. So that's what I'm saying. There's so much more to discover. Is there anything that you can tease us with in the remaining 3 episodes of Winter House? By the way, okay, do you survive? Do you stay living the entire rest of the season?
I live to tell the tale, right?
Okay, that's what I'm not. Okay, so you're safe. Is there anything else you can tease? We obviously, I don't think you're with Jason, but is there anything that you can tease for us or people to keep our eyes out on?
I think, like I've been saying, I'm very observant and I retain the information, and I've seen and heard everything. So don't cross me because, like I said, I will murder you with words and I will use it against you. So if you cross me, I'm just saying I'm going to call you out, and you can't fight me on that because I'm right.
Oh no! So we know that means she gets into a fight, guys. One, okay, is it with a male or a female? That's all. That's all I need to know.
I can't. I'm just saying.
No, fine,
I'm not saying.
Okay.
You'll just have to watch. Sorry.
Okay. Well, it wasn't Rachel's birthday this weekend. We do know that, but Rachel Clark is the owner of Floral Design by Rachel Clark. Her Instagram is Dearest Rachel NYC for her flowers. And then her normal Instagram is dearest.rachel. I'll put all of that in the show notes. But you guys, I'm telling you, on a cloudy Saturday, just go burn through all those Winter House episodes. You are going to love it. I'm telling you, it is the most viewable, bingeable show on Bravo right now. And you truly are a delight. I didn't really know what to expect because you're so great on the show, but you were even greater just kind of talking. And you said a couple things that really inspired me. So I can't wait for the audience to hear this. Is there anything else coming up that we should know about you or how to support you?
I mean, check out my page if you're having an event. If you're having a party, let me know. I'd love to make it more beautiful.
Okay, you got to pass the vibe check, but yeah, that's other than that. Hopefully I'll get to talk to you again for season 3, and good luck in the remainder of the season.
Thank you so much for having me.